Sugar Grove to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could have roll call, please, Tracy.
President Stilwell?
Here.
Trustee Lundy.
Here.
Trustee Bonnie.
Here.
Trustee Michaels.
Here.
Trustee Special.
Here.
Trustee London.
Here.
Trustee Roscoff.
Here.
All right, this evening we have 3 public hearings. The first is establishing a backup special service area number 30 for Brighton Ridge subdivision. Is there a motion and a second to discuss this item?
I'll make a motion to discuss.
We have a first from Trustee Michaels. Is there a second?
Second.
No, go ahead.
And second from Trustee Special. Danny Merriam will present this item.
So to establish a backup special service area, there are several steps that we have to go through. We previously approved the establishing or the proposing ordinance. The next step is the public hearing for the establishing ordinance. So tonight we're holding the public hearing. Our recommendation is for President Stilwell to open the public hearing, take any comments, and close the public hearing. And then we will bring it back 60 days from now for approval of the ordinance.
I don't need motions. All right, we will open the public hearing for establishing a backup special service area number 30 for Brighton Ridge subdivision at this time. Is there anyone signed up to speak? Assuming
No.
Lou, would you like to speak? Okay, hearing none, we will close the public hearing at this time. And then, no votes? No votes? All right. The next public hearing is establishing a backup special service area number 31 for the Grove Area 1 subdivision. Is there a motion and a second to open this public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
We have a first from Trustee Michaels. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
And a second from Trustee Roscoff. Danny Marion will also present this item.
Again, this is for special service area number 31 for the Grove Area 1 subdivision. This is the next step in the process to hold the public hearing and take any comments.
Is there anyone who would like to make public comment at this time? All right, hearing none, we will close the public hearing at this time. Up next.
This is the public hearings off the top of the meeting, not the discussion. It's the,
Do we have an ordinance in here for approval?
We
No.
can't approve the ordinance
until 60 days.
at
after
least
the
60
vote.
days after the public
Right,
hearing.
so you're, I
No.
don't think we just do a public hearing and have the opportunity for people to be heard, and then we can approve the ordinance after, right, the final ordinance.
Yeah.
That'll come. It has to be at least 60 days after the public hearing before we can present the ordinance for approval.
All right.
So next meeting, I assume?
No, it has to be
Couple
60
meetings,
days.
60 days.
60 days.
Yeah.
Oh, at least 60 days.
Yeah.
Within 60 days.
At least, yeah.
All right, up next, there will be a public hearing for Hannaford Farm Annexation Agreement Amendment for Lot 114, 905 Wheatfield Avenue. Is there a motion and a second to open the public hearing and discuss this item?
I'll make the motion.
We have a first from Trustee Roscoff. Is there a second?
Second.
And a second from Trustee Special. Danny will also present this item.
So this is for lot 114 in Hannaford Farm. The lot owner has paid their fee in lieu of development. So we have to approve the annexation agreement amendment to release them from any future obligations for improvements for that subdivision. First step of that, to amend the annexation agreement requires a public hearing. So we are recommending that President Stilwell open the public hearing and take any comments and close the public hearing.
All right, the public hearing will be open at this time. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, we will close the public comments at this time. And we will close the public hearing as well. Thank nominations, no presentations, no appointments. We have airport report with trustee special.
No report.
All right, up next we have public comment on scheduled action items. On the consent agenda this evening, we have approval of the July 7th, 2026 village board meeting minutes, approval of the vouchers, approval of the June 2026 treasurer's report, a resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement, and memorandum of understanding between the Village of Sugar Grove and Kaylin Community School District number 302 for the School Resource Officer Program, and a resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with Kaylin Community School District 302 for traffic control assistance at Harder Middle School. Is there anybody, would anyone like to remove any items from the
Public
consent
comment
agenda?
first.
I apologize. Would anybody like to make public comment on the scheduled action items? Hearing none, we will close public comments for the scheduled action items at this time. Would anyone like to remove an item from the consent agenda?
I would like to remove item A, please.
All right. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item A?
I'll make that motion.
We have a first from trustee Special. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And we have a second from trustee Michaels. If we could have roll call, please, Tracy.
Trustee Special?
Aye.
Trustee Michaels?
Aye.
Trustee Roscoff?
Aye.
Trustee Bonnie?
Aye.
Trustee Lindy?
Aye.
Trustee London? Aye.
The ayes have it and the consent agenda is approved with the exception of item A. We will, can I have a motion and a second to discuss item A?
I make that motion.
We have a first from trustee Lundy. Is there a second?
Second.
And a second from trustee Bonnie. We will open discussion for item A at this time.
I just had one minor thing I already talked to Tracy about, changing a comment that was listed as PUD to a PDD. I will give it to Tracy, I already talked to it. So, minor thing, but kind of meant, something good to me, so.
All right, is there a motion and a second to approve item A with the correction of, PUD, change to PDD, is that correct?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
We have a first from trustee Special. Is there a second?
Second.
And a second from trustee Bonnie. If we could have roll call, please, Tracy.
Trustee Special?
Aye.
Trustee Bonnie?
Aye.
Trustee Lindy?
Aye.
Trustee London? Aye. Trustee Michaels?
Aye.
Trustee Roscoff?
Aye.
The ayes have it, and item A as amended is approved. Up next, we have general business items. We have an ordinance for Hannaford Farm annexation agreement amendment for lot 114, 905 Wheatfield, a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Kreider Enterprises, Inc., and a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Preform Traffic Control Systems Limited. Is there a motion and a second to discuss these general business items?
Make a motion to approve the item A ordinance for Hanford Farm annexation agreement.
I'll second.
All right, we will open discussion for item A, this ordinance at this time, and Danny Marion will present this item.
So you have before you the annexation agreement amendment for lot 114, as we previously discussed. The owners, Greg and Deborah Becker, have paid the file load fee. So now we need to approve the annexation agreement amendment that will release them from future obligations, and also our attorneys have prepared the release of Liz pendants for the lot that we need to file with this.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? If we could have roll call, please, Tracy.
Trustee Michaels?
Aye.
Trustee Special?
Aye.
Trustee Roscoff?
Aye.
Trustee Bonnie?
Abstain.
Trustee Lindy?
Aye.
Trustee London? Aye.
All right, the ayes have it, and an ordinance for Hannaford Farm annexation agreement amendment for lot 114 is approved. The next item of general business is a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Kreider Enterprises, Inc.
I'll make that motion.
We have a first from trustee Special. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, and Brad Merkel will present this item.
Good evening, all. This is our annual hydrant repainting project that we do. part of this project is kind of twofold. What we do is we go through and test each fire hydrant to make sure it's operational. And this gives us a goal to try and do between 250 and 300 a year. So it's quite time consuming for staff, so that's about the number we can get done in the summer. And then after that, they come in and paint it so that we're not putting fresh paint on a broken fire hydrant. So, it's a very specialized service, there's not many people do it, so it's likely that it's common for us only to get one proposal back, cause there's like 2 companies in Chicagoland that do it, so. We've been using Kreider for, I'd say, over 20 years now, and had good luck, and the prices remain relatively the same, so.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, can we have a roll call, please, Tracy?
Trustee Special,
Aye.
Trustee Michaels,
Aye.
Trustee Roscoff,
Aye.
Trustee Bunny,
Aye.
Trustee Lundy,
Aye.
Trustee London.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Kreider Enterprises is approved. Up next, we have a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Preform Traffic Control Systems. Is there a motion and a second?
I'll make the motion.
Approve this item. We have a first from Trustee Special. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And a second from Trustee Michaels. And Brad Merkel will present this item.
Another annual program. This one's a little different. We piggyback the Kane County Department of Transportation's bid to get us the best pricing. Usually every other year we do the school zone, so this year we're doing Main Street School and Municipal and Galena area, and then areas of Dugan and Granite that are not scheduled for resurfacing at this time. So it doesn't go very far, but because it's by the linear feet, so do as much as we can every year. And then one other thing I wanna note is we already had the parking lot seal coated out of this fund. Public Works, you probably saw it, Sean,
Oh,
cause
yeah.
the striping was not legible.
Yeah.
And we needed to update the handicap parking stall, so. Cut a little bit into the striping, but I think it was worthwhile.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, if we could have roll call, please, Tracy.
Trustee Special,
Aye.
Trustee Michaels,
Aye.
Trustee Roscoff,
Aye.
Trustee Bunny,
Aye.
Trustee Lundy,
Aye.
Trustee London.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and the resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Preform Traffic Control Systems is approved. Up next, we have public comment. Is there anyone who would like to make a public comment? All right, hearing none, we will close public comments. Up next, we have discussion items. The first is a backup special service area. Danny Marion will present this item.
This discussion item is just kind of a little bit of a refresher about our backup SSAs and the intent behind them. So the village has several approved backup SSAs currently within the village. The purpose behind these is to provide the village with assistance when a property owner does not maintain their stormwater detention facilities and open areas. And then for the solar farm, we had to do one for their their brick paver road going through it, because they did that as an alternative to stay under the stormwater detention requirements. So it's a multi-step process for these backup SSAs. They only ever come into existence when the property owner is failing to maintain these areas and this village has to step in. And once the village steps in, it goes on all of the property owners' tax bills that are living within that SSA or own property within that SSA. So the first step for the SSA is to establish the SSA. You have to approve an establishing ordinance. 60 days from approving the proposing ordinance. You have to approve the proposing ordinance, then 60 days from approving proposing ordinance, you can have hold the public hearing, which we did tonight. Following the public hearing, you have to wait at least 60 days to approve the establishing ordinance. And then from there, you can record the establishing ordinance. But that stuff has to be within 60 days. So that's kind of the process and the purpose behind these backup SSAs. And they are a requirement of the King County Stormwater Ordinance that they be established in a lot of our annexation agreements
probably started them, I don't know, 20 years ago, before, in the old days, they weren't required, but
We did it anyway.
current age, yeah.
And we have one active SSA, which is over by the Jewel,
Yeah, east of Jewel, the detention basin.
the detention basin next to that, so we do levy that SSA every year in order to get funds, that are used to clean that up, mow it, and make sure that it's operating properly. The reasoning behind that is that it's the property owners that are direct users of that weren't maintaining it, are bearing the cost to maintain it, not the village-wide, tax base. So we hope to never have to enact these, but they're, very, very important.
Who should have been maintaining that area? Is it a homeowners association or?
It was the property owner, I think it was.
Well, it was a
Tanglewood.
semi-association run by Jewel
Yeah.
to maintain that area, and then Jewel basically disbanded it.
Yeah, Tanglewood Properties, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that's why, the main thing is to make sure they function as a detention basin, and they
No, I
can't
just-
get, so
the-
that's how it comes to be.
Well, the question was, not how it came to be, it's how it came to be needing the SSA, put in place, and activated, because if
No.
there's property owners, were there, they're basically abandoned it.
Correct.
And that was largely commercial, not, residential, is that correct? Tom?
Right, it's
Yeah.
everything in the Jewel Center.
Mhm.
Is there any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we will move on to the next discussion item, the IDOT Higgins Road Bridge Agreement. Scott Keppel will present this item.
Thank you. So we got this late on Friday and got it distributed out by email to the board members, and then a special thanks to Tracy for coming in to update the agenda on Saturday.
Oh, you gotta go in.
And so there's printed off copies that are at your spot. There is an attorney letter that is part of it, so I need to get clarification from the village attorney before just posting this online, but that will be taken care of after the meeting so the public can have the information. It is two things, and one is a letter from council at IDOT, Kathleen Abbott. The other is a letter, or an updated letter of understanding, that is the second step, towards getting the Hankins Road Bridge project done. Once the village board were potentially to approve a resolution, approving this, then that would be signed by the village president and sent back to IDOT. So, tonight we're asking for discussion and feedback as to whether this is an agreeable version of the document, or if there needs to be other changes made before the version for approval comes back. Our Public Works Director, Brad Merkel, can add context to it, I can as well, and as well as Attorney Miller.
Oh, were you done? I was gonna say, I'd like you to go ahead and note the discrepancies you noted.
Yeah.
Sure. So, in looking at the agreement, there was a letter sent back updated letter sent back, signed by the village president, that was the LOI, with several attachments, including an email from an IDOT employee that included, very specific language about the bridge joints, which was a cost the village is very concerned about, and then also the future, repaving of the bridge itself, which is a large expense in $26, which would need to be done 20 to 30 years from now. And if that cost is borne by the village, it'd be very expensive. The LOU does not include language specifically about the bridge joints or about the future repaving, which were two items that were very important. It does include language clarifying who's responsible for what as far as like below the superstructure, and also the elements that are the village's responsibility and the elements that are the state's responsibility. So this is an improvement over the standard LOU that IDOT will send out and ask for communities to sign, but it still does not include everything that we requested in the LOU that was returned to IDOT
Yeah,
a month or so ago.
they included a letter specifying that the bridge joints are included, but it's still not explicitly stated. So I can respond back and just request that they add
in IDOT's letter, they say that, bridge joints are part of the
I know,
superstructure and substructures.
Yeah, they did put it in this letter. Brad, the way they have it phrased in the letter of understanding, are you convinced that that this letter of understanding includes bridge joints?
No.
Okay, so yeah, we'll have to, we'll ask her to explicitly say in the letter of understanding that it includes bridge joints.
I do want to point out, and President Stillwell is correct, that it doesn't include everything, and they do say, based on your clarification, the village and the department clearly do not have an agreement regarding the scope of the project and future maintenance obligations. And in their email that they sent to us a couple months ago, which is the one that I can concur with, covered a lot of things that's not included in this memorandum of understanding. And then they did, when we sent in the LOI before, they did want to make sure that they told us the village made notations and the attached documents to the LOI to clarify the department deems the LOI to be executed without conditions, and the added documents are either not agreed upon or irrelevant to the subject matter of the LOI and are not incorporated. So I just want to be cautious that the memorandum, and that's exactly what President Stillwell said, has to have the proper language in it before it can be executed, because that's the way it is and that's the document. If we were to, in my belief, that if we were to approve this today, that encumbers us for the deck replacement, which in today's dollars could be 3 to 5 million.
That seems reasonable. I'll just send a short email saying, you know, if you add these two things,
What-
then
what-
we have an agreement.
What if we prepared the letter of understanding with our conditions in it?
Just
They tried that. They tried that and they rejected it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they won't take it in our words.
Well, we just have
Well,
to
they
change the
they
font.
actually didn't reject it. They actually didn't reject it. They said,
I'm
we'll keep
sorry.
the first page and toss out the rest of it. And then
I'm
we had to
sorry.
respond, no, you cannot do that. So, okay. And so any other things to add besides bridge joints and resurfacing in 20 years?
Just as long as it matches Steve Shilkey's email.
Okay.
Scott
Sounds
knows.
good. Is there any other discussion?
I would defer to Brad and trustee Special on what needs to be included on there.
We are in agreement, we spoke about it in depth.
Yeah.
All right, we will move on to staff reports. We have Scott Keppel, administration.
My report's in your packet, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Karen Johns, finance.
The report's in the packet, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Karen, if you can, could you look at the treasurer's report? In some fields, it says 100% when there's been no expenses in the program. It must be a program glitch, and something you'll need to look at.
Absolutely. Danny Marion, community development.
I have nothing to add.
Thank you. Chief Rollins, please.
Quick
Oh, sorry.
question for Danny. I know I talked to you about this, but, I know there have been some chatter, what's the point about some construction trucks coming in and doing a U-turn in that property, and I'm assuming you have talked to them about
Yes,
that.
I reached out to about that.
All right.
Thank you. Chief
I've had
Rollins.
chief as well.
Chief Rollins, please.
I also have my reports in the packet and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
They get ready to redo the parking lot. I see everything's cleared off the pavement.
We're getting there, they gotta do the gutters, but we're trying to hold it off for red water. But I don't know the timeframe on that.
I'm trying to push them off to do the parking lot and the curb at the very end to minimize, construction traffic. The last thing I want is a brand new parking lot that's all beat up or scratched up from contractors with skid loaders and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we wanna get all the trades out of there and pave our way out,
Well,
basically. That's our goal.
Yeah.
Like, they were gonna pour the front apron, the concrete, the sidewalk, the entry. I'm like, no, you guys are still dragging like all the furniture and equipment into there. We don't want it all beat up and it's done.
Yeah.
So, we've been pushing them.
Thank you.
Did we get the resolution
Yes, so thank you for the board's support on helping us relocate the ductwork from the evidence room up through the attic. There's been no activity yet, so and then probably the last 2 weeks is really some of the hottest days up that they would have to put employees up in the attic. So I think they're gonna start on Thursday, removing the ductwork that's there and then rerunning it, so. But we're kinda at a standstill the last probably 6 weeks, I'd say.
Okay, great, at least it's kind of moving in the
It
right
is,
direction.
it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Brad Merkel, Public Works.
Mine's in the packet, I have nothing to add.
Thank you. Trustee reports, trustee Lundy.
There's a library board meeting, tomorrow that I plan on attending. And the Forest Preserve, there's a work day that Mario's having on Saturday from 8 a.m. I start at 8 a.m. and we're meeting at the main parking lot off of Bliss Road, or Bliss Woods, and that's it.
Thank you. Trustee London,
Nothing to report.
trustee Special,
Nothing to report.
trustee Michaels.
I don't know if it's the village can do this or if we need to reach out to Corn Boil, but there's no signage about the Corn Boil coming up this weekend up by Bliss and the overpass, and it might be a good idea to get some signage up.
They were, they had an issue getting their permit, related to the craft show and, some things like that, and they only have authorization to put signs certain places. Are they able to put a sign in that location?
I'd have to check the Corn Boil agreement.
Okay.
I know there's language in there about off-site signage. I don't know if it's specific to the locations that they've been doing, or if it's generic.
I think it allocates a certain number of signs they're allowed to have. I don't think it says the specific location, so I believe
Yeah, I
they
know
have.
there's a number in there. I don't know
Yeah.
if there's
Yeah.
location.
I didn't know if we can use one of our electronic messaging boards or not.
The park district runs it. Do they have a message up there now? Does anyone know about the Corn Boil? Or you're saying put one down there?
Yeah, put one up, Bliss and Denny, roughly in that area.
Where's Jaden when you need him? He's in
Yeah,
California.
just bring it up, but, you know, I know it's tricky with, public-private, cooperations.
Okay.
But other than that, nothing.
Trustee Roscoe.
I've been working on the bench for Veterans Park for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's almost done. It's been a lot of work. What's amazing, I'm the only person in the village actually on the project. Everybody else is not in the village, which is interesting. So,
Yeah.
but it's,
Thank you so much for
yeah,
doing
no
that.
problem.
And it's nice to have a veteran, you know.
Yeah,
on
there's
our
a couple veterans working on it, so it's a great project. So.
They sent a picture today. It looks like it's built but not staged. Is
It's
that
all
right?
it's all standing. Finished
Yeah.
standing today. It's still standing.
Yeah. Nice. Trustee Bonnie.
Nothing to report.
All right. President's report. Corn Boil is still looking for volunteers. If anyone is interested, sign up on the website. And the Historical Society on Saturday is having a program with folk music, calf, chickens, some other animals. So the Corn Boil will be extending somewhat down Main Street with Veterans Park, the Historical Society, and I think some of the local businesses are putting balloons and things like that. And that is it. There is an executive session this. No.
Yep, it's others too.
Where'd you I said where? There is an executive session this evening. Is there a motion and a second to enter executive session to discuss litigation 5 ILCS 122C11 and to adjourn the meeting afterward as there is no further business to discuss?
I'll make that first.
We have a first from trustee London. Is there a second?
A second.
And a second from trustee Michaels. If we could have roll call, please, Tracy.
Trustee London.
Aye.
Trustee Michaels.
Aye.
Trustee Roscoe.
Aye.
Trustee Bonnie.
Aye.
Trustee Lindy.
Aye.
Trustee Special.
Aye.